Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Founders Brewing Company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this is another beer from their Mothership series that's brewery only. This beer is called Panther Cub. So this is the description says a small porter. I would consider it an imperial porter because this beer is 8.7, but I don't know how much of that additional alcohol comes from the barrel. So maybe the base porter was only like 6.5 or something, and they got that much from the barrel. If that's the case, then that makes sense. But anyways, it's described by Founders as a small porter aged in a blend of maple bourbon barrels and regular bourbon barrels with vanilla beans. So this is a beer that I think they did a couple times for special events and stuff at the brewery, but they never packaged it before. So this is the first time they packaged it. And I've heard some mixed reviews on this, so I'm really curious on which side of the fence I'm going to fall. But I generally used to give Founders the benefit of the doubt. I hadn't been as much anymore, but when I had the Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, I kind of changed that back again because that was really, really good. So, so as you can see, it pours a pretty dark brown to almost black color with a really small beige head. You have to excuse me, I'm a little congested in the nose, but I can still smell pretty well. So the aroma is definitely a good bit of bourbon. It kind of reminds me of the Founders Barrel Aged Imperial Stout and KBS, like the barrel character. There is some roasty character and also some vanilla. But it smells pretty chocolatey too, which is interesting. So that's pretty good. It's funny because I was saying to one of my friends who was at Founders for the Barrel Aged Imperial Stout release that there was something in the aroma, and I think I also mentioned this on the video too. There's something in the aroma that I thought I always associated with KBS because it was some blend of the coffee and the bourbon. But then I also picked it up in the regular Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, which of course doesn't have coffee. And I'm kind of getting that same thing in this too. And this doesn't have coffee in it either. So it must be, I guess, whatever barrels they use. I mean, I'm assuming, I wouldn't think that they use the same bourbon barrels all the time, but maybe they do. And I know the Bliss barrels, I'm pretty sure they use Bliss barrels for this. I don't know what bourbon it's sat in, but it's reminiscent of the CBS, so that makes sense. So, if I was going to have a complaint, there would be two things that I would complain about on this. One, it tastes kind of hot. And yeah, I know it's not like a small beer, but it's only 8.7. I feel like it tastes even stronger than that. But that might be a good thing because then you don't drink it as quickly. And the other is it's just a little watery. But given that they do say that it's a small porter. Like, I don't think the base beer. I mean, who knows? Maybe this literally is their founder's porter in those things, which would be crazy. Because, I mean, that's one of the best classic porters around. But if they got that and barrel aged that with vanilla beans and turned it into this, it's pretty impressive. There is some maple sweetness, but it's pretty muted. I would guess that it's more the regular bourbon barrels than the maple bourbon barrels. And I'm generally not a fan of vanilla, but I am picking it up in this, and it's there, but it's not like the dominating flavor. I would say the biggest flavor really is just like chocolate, which I'm assuming is just from the malt. I don't think there's chocolate in this. Chocolate and bourbon, but it's only like 8%. So, I was having a discussion with some people recently. What's the best, like, sub 9% barrel aged dark beer? And this would be up there for me. I mean, everyone said the best one was Event Horizon, which I absolutely agree with. But, well, the old one, the new one's like 11.5%. But I think this is up there. It's pretty good. My one buddy who I completely trust his opinion on beer said that this was really bad, like a drain pour. So he must have gotten a bad bottle or something because, he would tell me, oh, well, it's a little thin, but that wouldn't make him think that it was a terrible beer. So I'm curious what happened to the bottle he had. But I think this is pretty good. If I'm going to drink something with these type of flavors, I generally want it to be a bigger beer. So if this had the same price as those, then I would say I don't know that this would be worth buying. And even if I compare it to the Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, it's not as good as that, but it's the same price. But that was like an insane steal. It's $15 for a 6-pack, which that was for that, and that's also the same price for this. So even for this, I think that's a really good price. For that, it's absolutely insane. But I mean, that's, what is that? $2.50 a bottle? It'd be $2.50 a bottle for a decent strength, pretty tasty barrel aged beer is by today's standards is insanely cheap. So this is absolutely a buy for me. I'm hoping they put some of these Mothership or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, Mothership series beers into the Backstage series and they actually get distributed. I don't understand. Like, I feel like this it can't be any more expensive to make than CBS. It's the same barrels and a smaller beer. And Barrel Aged Imperial Stout's got to be cheaper to make than KBS because there's not coffee in it. So I just don't understand why they don't do it. But I would really like to see this and that. This is definitely a buy for me. I don't know that it's... If I could get it all on the shelf, I would absolutely go buy a bunch more of it. I don't know that I'm going to go out of my way to trade for more of it, only because if I was going to bother to trade for it, like I would just go get the Barrel Aged Imperial Stout because it was the same price. So, but if I could just buy it on the shelf, I absolutely would. So this is still definitely a buy for me. And another beer from Founders that's kind of pulling me back in a little bit. So, good for them. Way better than the Lizard of Cause. I hope they start doing some better stuff like this in the near future. So, anyways, I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks.